Okay, we're on. All right. This is your last lab for the semester. I think next semester we're probably going to add another lab so that we've got so we'll have a nice four, 8 assignments. One, you can kind of pace yourself to do one a week, that kind of thing. All right, but this one is about coefficient of restitution, how high something bounces. I got my prized possession here. I found them on, of course, on Amazon. This is a Super Bowl. This is the original Super Bowl, the way it looked when I wanted to get one in 1968. Okay, when they first came out, I was 8 years old. We were living out in Western Kansas and out in Hutchinson, Kansas. And the Duck Walls, which was the dime store, there was no Walmarts back then. There was the big store in Kansas City at the time when we moved to Kansas City that was close to us was in North Kansas City. It was Dolgen's. That was kind of the department store where you'd go get sporting goods and things like that. I think Kmart came along in the early 70s. Sears, you went to Sears or you went to Dolgen's and to get things, but to get toys even and things. Or TG&Y was around, toys, goods, and yearbooks was around, and you could get toys. But at out in Western Kansas, all they had was a Duck Walls. I mean, it was in Hutch, and Hutch was a town of about 40,000 people. It was pretty big, but consuming wasn't that all consuming like it is now. And when the Super Bowls first came out, they're a huge fad, and they have a huge coefficient of restitution. It came back to me. All right, it came back to me. I got killed, but it did come back to me. So watch, see, I drop this thing, boing, drop it again. I'm going to drop it again, boing, boing. All right, oh, can't even cover that one up. Can't even cover that up. All right, anyway, so that's what you're going to be looking at. And it's the bounciness of, now this has a very high coefficient of restitution because it bounces. It bounces. If I take this styrofoam ball, and drop it over here, and drop it here. Oh, that was wimpy. Now watch this. If I take this ball and drop it over here, see, it bounces good. All right, different coefficients of restitution. That's what you're going to be doing. There's energy loss. We're going to be studying. So it's the energy before is equal to the energy after. And I'm going to open up those assignments, and you're going to have fun with it. And I'm going to look at the due dates. All right, I do want to talk about this. I will. Some of you may not have all the materials like a Super Bowl, silly putty, and you probably don't want to go to the store, go on Amazon and order them because I told you wouldn't need to buy these things. You wouldn't need, because this thing costs like $8 when I finally got it. And and it was such a fad that by the time I'd get my mom to take me to the store, they'd all be sold out, and they say, well, they'll be in another week. Yeah, it sold out. It took like 3 trips. And then finally we got it. And out in Western Kansas, I threw it down as hard as I could. Went way high in the air like it's supposed to. Oh, I thought it was high for an 8-year-old. And clunk. It went right into the gutter of the house. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Of course, then I got my ass chewed because I got out the step ladder. My dad's step ladder was, kind of hanging on the. Great. All right. So anyway, got my Super Bowl back though. So anyway, one thing that we're going to do, since some of you may not have these materials, all right, like a tennis ball, a racquetball, basketball, soccer ball handy, ping pong ball with a hole in it, all those kinds of things. I will have these set up in the lab. However, I didn't supervise that very closely last time, and things were disappearing. Little things like batteries, which are nice to have, from the lab room, and so I'm going to have to tighten that up a little bit, and we're going to have to be careful. We don't want to install one of the cameras that we have in there. That would be, I think, overkill and useless. But anyway, I'm going to open up the labs for us to use, and they will be open after hours for those of you that are working adults also. Just remember, you leave the lab the way you found it. All right, you leave the lab the way you found it, and we are not going to take anything. I don't want to have to stay here on Thursday on 2 Thursday because I'm going to open it up for 2 Thursday nights until would Thursday night work, or would Tuesday be better for me? I think Tuesday would be better for me. So like it'll be open till 7:15, and I'll be here because people weren't meaning to take, like, they didn't think anyone would notice or that it was high dollar values, but it is annoying when you go to set up a lab when you got 20 kids in there ready to do a physics lab and batteries are missing, so that you can't turn on the machines and things like, or they can't do the devices that they're going to use. So that's on that. All right, so out here, and you're going to enjoy this lab.